shortstop, number 7, Parker Bates. And on the mound for the Warriors in game number 2, number 24, Wes Markle. Starting lineup for your Fighting Saints, leading things off at second base, number 22, Alex Martinez. Batting second, the center fielder, number 20, Luke Ketchum. Hitting third in left field, number 32, Scott Tumulty. Batting fourth at third base, number 12, Josh Kernbauer. Hitting fifth in right field, at first base, number 9, Quinn McGuire.
Good afternoon. Welcome once again to Joliet, Illinois and University of St. Francis Fighting Saints baseball as they play game number 2 of today's doubleheader against the Warriors of the Indiana Institute of Technology. Getting ready to start game 2 here. Terry Bonadonna with you following a game 1 St. Francis victory. 9-8 was the final score in favor of the Fighting Saints. And now Matt Lopez takes the mound for the Saints to start game number 2. He'll face Patrick McGinn, who gets things started with a foul ball. We're underway, 5:40 p.m. Central Daylight Time. 0-1 on McGinn, who fouled off the first pitch. Patrick McGinn, the starting right fielder for Indiana Tech here in game 2. I'll give you the rest of the starting lineups in just a moment as McGinn fouls back another one and moves the count to no balls and 2 strikes. McGinn, a .278 hitter, starting his 9th game of the year. He's 10 for 36 at the plate. 3 extra base hits. He's got 7 runs knocked in this year. He's in an 0-2 hole against Matt Lopez, who makes his first start for St. Francis. Ball low and away. 1-2. Lopez, the 5'9" tall sophomore right-hander from Morris, Illinois, has pitched 10 times in relief this year. But as I said, this is his first start. He's 2-0 with an 8.16 ERA. In 14 1/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 14 runs. 13 of them have been earned on 16 hits and 8 walks. He has struck out 9. He's ahead of McGinn 1-2. And before he can try to put him away, a ball gets loose from the Indiana Tech bullpen. So the third baseman Josh Kernbauer has to knock that out of play before Lopez can deliver the 1-2 pitch. McGinn, left-handed hitter, stands in, ready to go. And now Lopez pitching out of the stretch with nobody on base. Sends it his way. It's flown out to left center field. That ball drops in for a base hit. Luke Ketchum picks it up, fires it back to the infield. A leadoff single for McGinn. Good start for IIT. They get their leadoff man on base for McGinn. That's the 11th hit this season. And it sets him up for the center fielder, Trevor Patterson. Patterson, one of many starters here in Game 2 who did not play in Game 1. Patrick McGinn is another one. The only players who are starting in Game 2 who also played Game 1 are Parker Bates, the shortstop, and Christian Mojica, the third baseman. So up the middle, they are the same. Other than that, brand new starting lineup for Kip McWilliams, and much the same for St. Francis. That ball is bunted down the first base line. Lopez picks it up and throws it away. It's into right field. McGinn heads to third base. Patterson will not advance beyond first, but back-to-back base hits to begin this game for Indiana Tech have them in a good position. An error on Lopez there allows McGinn to advance to third, and that's one that Lopez should have just held on to. He had no chance of getting the out. It was a really tough angle to make a throw from, and only negative things could happen from making that throw, and that's what ended up happening. Something negative. It advanced McGinn to third base as the throw went out to right. They're at the corners with nobody out. Deftari steps in and swings the first pitch. He pops it up to the right side, shallow right field, and it's off the glove of the second baseman, Alex Martinez. A run comes in to score as the throw goes to second base, and it's late. St. Francis did not commit an error in Game 1. They've committed 2 on the last 2 pitches. And Indiana Tech takes a 1-0 lead. So Patrick McGinn led off with a solid single to center field. And then Trevor Patterson picks up a bunt single. McGinn advanced to third on the error. And now McGinn scores. Patterson advances to second. And Deftari reaches base. That's Jacob Deftari, the designated hitter, on the Martinez error. Big swing and a miss from Mike Snyder to start his at-bat. 0-1. Snyder is the second baseman for Indiana Tech here in Game 2. He's a .324 hitter and a regular starter, at least a little over half the time for Indiana Tech. Snyder's got 5 homers, 25 RBIs this year. First 3 batters of the game have reached. For the Warriors, they're at first and second right now. With nobody out, 1 run already in. Snyder's hit by the pitch. That loads the bases as Lopez plunks Snyder, the second batter that he has hit with a pitch this year. Daftari up to second base, Patterson to third. Things are moving fast here. The last 3 batters have all reached on either the first or the second pitch of the at-bat. I haven't had time to go through the rest of the starting lineup. We could start right here. The number 5 batter is left fielder Tyler Stahl. On deck, third baseman Christian Mojica. Batting 7th in the order is the catcher Clay Lewis. The number 8 hitter is first baseman Tristan Osika. And batting 9th, shortstop Parker Bates. Tyler Stahl takes strike 1 from Lopez. A single, and then a bunt single, and then an error and a hit by pitch. It's been a weird inning. But the bottom line is that Lopez has not recorded an out yet. Stahl flies it out to deep right field, down the line into foul territory and out of play. Strike 2 on Tyler Stahl. Big hit from Stahl right there. Just kept curving towards the right and ultimately landed in foul ground, putting him behind the 8 ball. 0-2. Tyler Stahl is a .359 hitter. He's got 92 at-bats this season. He started 26 of the team's previous 46 games. 4 home runs, 29 RBIs this year. We did not see him in Game 1. The 0-2. Stahl pops that one into center field. Shallow. Ketchum comes in, makes the catch. Patterson tags from third. He'll try to score, and he will make it in safely. It's a sacrifice fly for Tyler Stahl, and a 2-0 Indiana Tech lead. So Stahl picks up his 30th RBI of the season. The other runners hold their position. Snyder is at first, Daftari is at second, and the all-important first out of the inning has been recorded. And the first out of the game. Prior to the first out, we had already seen 2 hits and 2 errors. And now Lopez gets a chance to settle in a little bit more with third base no longer occupied. Christian Mojica drills the first pitch to deep left center field. That ball drops on the warning track and hits the wall on a bounce. Daftari is in, Snyder around third base. Snyder scores without a throw. It's a 2-run double for Christian Mojica. 4-0 Indiana Tech. What a start for the Warriors here. Both teams are playing kind of an ad hoc starting lineup. I talked about it during Game 1. You'll see that sometimes, especially late in the season in non-conference games. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. In a non-conference game late in the year, both managers are getting a look at a lot of seldom used players. So 2 completely different lineups for these games for both teams. Clay Lewis takes strike 1. Lewis is the catcher here in Game 2 for Indiana Tech. And he's starting his 3rd game of the season. 5 for 14 at the plate so far this year. So limited action for Lewis, but he's been very good when he's played. He takes a ball. The count is 1-1. Lewis is a sophomore from Michigan. He bats with a runner at second base, already a 4-run lead. Ball outside, 2-1. McGinn singled, Patterson singled. Daftari reached on an error. Snyder was hit by a pitch. Mojica picked up a 2-run double. Swing and a miss, 2-2. St. Francis defensively has switched up quite a bit as well. Scott Tumulty is in left, Luke Ketchum in center. Dallas Matlock is in right field. Among those 3, only Ketchum is a holdover from Game 1. Pickoff throw to second, nearly had him. But Mojica's able to dive back into second base just ahead of a high throw and tag that came in a tiny bit late. The infield is completely different from game one. Third base is Josh Kernbauer. Alex Milcars is at short. Alex Martinez at second, as that one's fouled off. Still 2-2. Quinn McGuire is the first baseman. Liam Higgins does the catching. So just one starter is a holdover from game one for the Saints. Just two starters for Indiana Tech. A little bit of a different strategy, though, between Kip McWilliams and Brian Mahalik for this doubleheader. Ball outside. The count goes full. The Saints essentially played their A team in game one, and they're playing their B team here in game two. Indiana Tech mixed and matched a little bit more. Line drive up the middle. That's a base hit. Mojica is held at third base on a single for Clay Lewis, and they're at the corners with one down. Fourth hit of the inning for the Warriors. And we'll see a pinch runner at first base. Aaron Busick is in to run. So Mojica's at third, Busick is at first, one down following the Clay Lewis single, his sixth hit of the year in just 15 at-bats. More easy math on that one. That's a 400 batting average. Here's Tristan Osika. He swings to the first pitch and fouls it back for strike one. Tristan Osika is a .292 hitter, another guy who is a regular starter for Indiana Tech. 3 homers, 22 RBIs. He takes a strike over the outside corner, 0-2. That's what I was saying a moment ago with the mixing and matching. Only the left side of the infield is held over in this lineup for Indiana Tech. Actually, Bates moved from second to short. Ground ball right side and past the diving Quinn McGuire into right field. Another run scores, a hit for Osika. Busick advances to third. Now Osika heads to second, and he slides in safely. Heads up base running by Tristan Osika. As the throw came in at third base, he took the extra bag, and he dives into second, taking the double play out of order. An RBI single for Osika, his 23rd run knocked in this year. And now they're at second and third with one out, and Parker Bates is the ninth man to hit this inning. 5 hits in the inning for IIT. 2 errors committed by St. Francis. There's been one batter hit by a pitch. And the first one to Bates is fouled back for strike one. So as I was saying, Indiana Tech has only carried over 2 starters from game one to game two, but they have a good chunk of their regular starting lineup playing in game two, and about half their starters played in game one as well, their regular starters. Ball outside, 1-1. So rather than go the A team and B team route, as St. Francis did, they went with half A and half B in game one, and then half B and half A here in game two. Ball 2 on Parker Bates. Bates, as I mentioned, is one of the few players who we saw in game one. He went 0 for 2 in that one. Popped out, flew out, and was hit by a pitch. He's trying to break this game wide open in the first inning. He takes a ball in the dirt, 3-1. One thing we know, it's been well proven already today, a 5-run lead is not safe. Indiana Tech had a 5-run advantage in game one of the doubleheader, in the 4th inning, in fact, of just a 7-inning game, and they couldn't hold it. There's ball 4 high. Bates becomes the 8th base runner. And it loads the bags here with only 1 out, as Patrick McGinn gets his second at bat. The only man to be retired in this first inning has been Tyler Stahl, and that's the very definition of a productive out. It was a sacrifice fly. So the only out recorded was also an RBI. Patrick McGinn is 1 for 1. He fell behind in the count 1-2 to open the ball game, and then ended up singling to center field, and that is what started this big 5-run rally. Fouled off for strike one. 5 runs, 5 hits in the first inning for Indiana Tech. And they can make this a big scoring total if McGinn can come up with a one-out hit. He fouls it back. Lopez has him down to his final strike. A strikeout would be huge here. A ground ball right at one of the infielders would be even bigger. Lopez trying to tiptoe his way out of a major first inning jam. The 0-2 pitch. Inside, nearly hit him. I think that went behind McGinn. And it goes for ball one. But a break for Lopez that he was able to curl that around McGinn and not hit him. That would have forced in a run. Lewis is at third, or rather Busick, the pinch runner for Lewis, is at third. Osika's at second. Bates is at first. It's 1-2 on McGinn, and he strokes it into center field again. Second hit of the inning for McGinn. One run is in. Osika makes it 2 runs in as Bates makes it into third base. A 2-run single makes it 7-0 Indiana Tech. And there's still only one out, and there are still 2 men on base. McGinn is 2 for 2 here in the first inning. 6th hit overall for IIT. And Brian Mahalik will come out and have a word with his sophomore pitcher. Bates went first to third on the single, so that puts him at the corners here. The double play is still in order. And that's still Lopez's best hope right here, is to get a ground ball from Trevor Patterson. Patterson's first time up, he bunted his way on. So he was trying to give himself up for a sacrifice, but it turned out to be such a good bunt. It really turned this first inning around. If Lopez had been able to get that out at first base, and you had a runner at second with 1 out instead of first and third with nobody out, which is what ended up being the case after the error, it could have been a vastly different first inning. But as it is, the Warriors are threatening to run away with this thing before the Saints even get a chance to hit. Trevor Patterson is 1 for 1 with a bunt single this inning. He looks to extend a 7-run lead. With the runner on the move, Patterson takes the ball. The throw from the catcher goes into center field and allows another run to score. McGinn heads to third base. It's 8-0. Third error of the inning on St. Francis. So that'll go as a stolen base for Patrick McGinn. And for McGinn, that's the 4th steal of the year. And then the error allowed him to advance to third base and allowed Bates to score. Patterson takes a strike. Count is 1-1. The throw from Liam Higgins was well wide of the bag to the right side. Milcars was backing up the play, but the throw was even wide of the backup. Patterson pops this one into shallow right field. Matlock makes the catch, and no chance for McGinn to tag. So there's the second out of the inning. McGinn has to hold his position, and it brings up Jacob Daftari for the second time. Shallow fly out and an unproductive out. Really the first time this inning we've seen an unproductive at-bat from an Indiana Tech player, although I guess the at-bat itself was productive. A run scored during it. Wasn't because of anything the batter did. Jacob Daftari takes ball 1 low. Daftari popped one to the second baseman his first time up. Alex Martinez dropped the ball. Talk about plays that could have had a major impact on the inning. If that catch had been made, what a different inning this would have been. Fly ball into center field. It's well hit, but Luke Ketchum's got a beat on it. He makes the catch and ends the inning. So the Warriors leave a man at third base, but prior to that, they score 8 runs on 6 hits, 3 errors. What a first inning for Indiana Tech. They've got a big lead, 8-0, as the Saints get set to bat for the first time. As we move into the bottom of the first inning, St. Francis will get their first chance to bat. They trail 8-0 after a big first inning for Indiana Tech, so a lot of pressure on their offense here. Let's see what they bring to the table. It'll be Alex Martinez leading things off, playing second base. Luke Ketchum, the center fielder, bats second. Scott Tumulty hits third in left field. The cleanup batter is third baseman Josh Kernbauer. Quinn McGuire hits fifth. McGuire is at first base. Shortstop Alex Milcars is in the sixth hole. Matt Lopez, the pitcher, bats seventh. The catcher is Liam Higgins, and batting ninth, right fielder Dallas Matlock. Starting pitcher for Indiana Tech here in Game 2 is junior right-hander Weston Markle. Markle is making his second start and fifth appearance this year. He's 1-0 with a 6.75 ERA. His first pitch of the ball game misses up and away for ball one. Markle this season in 6 2/3 innings has allowed 6 runs, 5 of them earned on 8 hits, with 7 walks and 5 strikeouts. He misses high once again, 2-0 on Alex Martinez. Martinez is making his 30th start of the year. He's a .272 hitter with a homer, 11 RBIs, a .438 on-base percentage. He hits this one high in the air, left field. Out in left center now. The center fielder Trevor Patterson makes the call for it and puts it away. Martinez is out number 1. So a good start for Markle after Indiana Tech was able to get their first 4 batters to reach base in the first inning. If Markle can put a 0 on the scoreboard here, I know it's just the first inning, but that would be such a boost to Indiana Tech to not only have the big offensive inning, but then to put the 0 on the board in the bottom half. Luke Ketchum swings through strike 1. Ketchum hit his 12th home run of the year in Game 1. He's got a team-leading 42 RBIs. He's moved ahead of Jake Lasota in that category. Lasota has led the team in runs batted in pretty much since day 1. Ball high, 1-1. But Ketchum has been so good over the last 2 months. Came into play today with a .340 batting average, and that will tick up a few points after he went 1 for 2 with a walk in Game 1. He takes a strike, and he's behind in the count 1-2. Markle trying to put him away. Ketchum pops it up. Right side foul. Over towards the seating area and out of play. Still 1-2. One out, nobody on base in the bottom of the first inning. St. Francis moved above 500 with their win earlier today, 24-23. It's the second time this season they've been better than even on their overall record. They have never been more than 1 game over 500. That could change with a win here, but they've got a lot of work in front of them. 1-2. Yeah, the dirt 2-2. They overcame a big deficit in Game 1, but that was just a 5-run deficit. Although that came just over the final 3 innings. They've got 9 innings here to try to come back from 8 runs down. Ball high, full count on Ketchum. Markle got ahead of him, 1-2, but Ketchum has come back and worked the count full. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat as he tries to reach in front of Scott Tumulty, who waits on deck. Ball 4 high. After falling behind, Ketchum works his way back into the at-bat. He draws the walk, and he is aboard with 1 out in front of the number 3 batter, Scott Tumulty, who's batting .290 for the season. 3 homers, 16 runs batted in. We saw him briefly in Game 1 as a pinch runner. He ended up scoring a very critical run late in the game. First pitch from Markle finds the zone, strike 1. Tumulty, a left-handed hitter, takes the ball off the inside corner, 1-1. Sophomore transfer from Augustana College. Has appeared in the majority of games this year for St. Francis. 34 out of their 40. Actually, this is number 35 out of 48. Strike called over the outside corner, 1-2. He's been an outfielder. He's been a DH. Today he's in left, with Jake Vera getting a rare game off. 1-2 pitch. Popped up. Right field. That brings McGinn in, and Patrick McGinn makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Ketchum holds at first base, and it'll be up to Josh Kernbauer to try to do something with him. Josh Kernbauer getting his first at bat of the day, is making his 25th start of the year. He's a .256 batter. It's 21 for 82. 13 runs batted in this year. No homers, no extra base hits of any kind. All 21 hits have been singles. Saints would take that. Ball outside, 1-0. Quinn McGuire is on deck. Throw over to first base. Ketchum gets back safely to the bag. Luke Ketchum's got 3 steals in 4 attempts this year. Markle hasn't been paying too close attention to him. I think he just wants to remind him that he knows he's over there. Strike over the outside corner, 1-1. St. Francis took the opener 9-8. Indiana Tech already has equaled that runs total here in Game 2, with 8 runs in the first inning and still well under their recent game average. On the season, they score better than 7 runs per game. 1-1. Popped up into right field. McGinn again steps in on it, and McGinn makes the catch. So back-to-back flyouts to right for Tumulty and Kernbauer. And the Saints do not end up with any runs in the bottom of the first. Ketchum walked. He's left at first base. 1 down, 8 to go. Great start for Indiana Tech. They lead 8-0. Eight 0 Indiana Tech after 1 inning of play. Matt Lopez back to the mound, trying to bounce back after a rocky first inning. He'll face the middle of the Indiana Tech order for the second time. Snyder, Stahl, and Mojica due up. Mike Snyder was hit by a pitch his first time up. Later came around to score one of those 8 runs. He swings at the first pitch here and grounds it to second base. Martinez tosses to first. 1 pitch, 1 out in the top of the second. That is a breath of fresh air for Matt Lopez. After the way things went down in the first, Lopez knows that he didn't pitch great in the first inning, but that he wasn't probably as bad as the numbers would suggest. There were some unfortunate bounces. There were 3 errors. He committed 1 of them, but still the defense behind him was not sharp in the first inning. So he's got to just get back to his original game plan for today. As he fires strike 1 to Tyler Stahl. Getting that first out on just 1 pitch, you know, will help to settle him in, at least emotionally out on the mound. The 0-1 to Stahl is hit hard on the ground to the right side. A sliding stop by Martinez. He throws to first and throws it away. So Stahl is aboard. It bounced off the facing of the dugout and right back onto the field. Liam Higgins was there to back it up as well. So Stahl is unable to advance. I think the problem on that play was Martinez kind of got caught in between. He started to dive for it, but it wasn't that far out in front of him. But he had already started the dive. He probably could have fielded it just on a regular backhand, but because he had started to make the move, he had to finish it, and he kind of turned it into a slide and made the stop, but he couldn't finish the easy part. He made the difficult play, and then the throw got away from him. It's the fourth error of the game on St. Francis, second of which has been on Martinez. Fouled back by Mojica, strike one. Christian Mojica had the biggest hit of the first inning, a two-run double for all the offense. It was the only extra base hit of the entire inning. Count goes to 1-1 on Mojica. He crushed that double off the wall on one hop. Other than that, all 5 hits were singles. And then, of course, those 3 errors all played a big factor in the 8 runs as well. Hard grounder to short. Milkar's down to one knee, gloves it, throws to second for the force. Martinez to first base, and he's able to finish it off for the double play. Nice bounce back inning for Matt Lopez. No runs, no hits, 1 error, but nobody left. We'll go to the bottom of the second. 8-0 Indiana Tech. Bottom of the second inning, St. Francis up to bat with Quinn McGuire leading things off. McGuire, Milkars, and Lopez are the scheduled hitters against Weston Markle, who looked sharp in the first inning. He gets McGuire to swing through the first pitch for strike one. Quinn McGuire is 1 for 8 at the plate so far this season. This is his second start out in the field. Ball outside, 1-1. Not a great start in this game for St. Francis. They fell behind 8-0 before they even came to bat, but things have settled down since then. McGuire takes a strike. It's 1-2. Obviously, you can't reset the score, but you can at least sort of reset your approach coming into this bottom of the second now that things have stopped unraveling. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Markle has his first strikeout of the game. And the catch was made on the fly by the catcher. It was a low pitch, but never hit the dirt, so Clay Lewis is able to just toss it back to the pitcher after the first out is recorded. Here's Alex Milkars. Milkars started the double play in the field last inning. Now he gets his first at bat of the day. Freshman infielder tries to bunt his way on it. It's a nice bunt to third base. Mojica throw to first is in time. That was a good bunt by Milkars, maybe a little harder than he wanted it to be. Mojica got a good jump on that ball. He played it really well. And Milkars is retired for out number 2. So the Saints are trying to get some base runners here any way they can, but the defense of Indiana Tech robs them of one right there. It's been the opposite of what we saw in game 1. As Matt Lopez, the pitcher, gets his first at bat of the game. Takes ball 1 high. The Warriors committed 3 errors, one of them very costly in game 1. Saints didn't commit any. Here in game 2, 4 against St. Francis. 3 of them have been costly. And none for Indiana Tech. Ball low and outside, ends up going to the backstop. 2-0. Matt Lopez is listed on the roster as an infielder slash pitcher, but he's pretty much just been a pitcher until today. Ball low, 3-0 the count. This is only his 5th at bat of the season. He's 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts so far this year. This is the second time he's gotten a start. Strike over the inside corner, 3-1. 2 outs, nobody on base. Markle is looking for his first 1-2-3 inning after he pitched around a first inning walk. Lopez steps well out of the box, looks down to his coach down in the third base box to get the signs before digging back in to face the 3-1 pitch from the 6'6" tall right-hander Markle. An imposing sight on the mound. Lopez swings and pops it up. Shallow right field, foul territory. Drifting back towards the bullpen and ends up falling untouched. As the second baseman, Snyder, runs right into the fence. He looks like he's okay, but that's a dangerous place to run on a full sprint. He went right into the fence. That ball not read all that well by the first baseman, Osika. Where that ball ended up landing in the bullpen, it's probably the second baseman's ball more than anything, but Snyder didn't really get close to it. He just had too far to go, never got there. And Osika, again, I don't think saw it all that well. He was coming from a tough angle. So dropped foul, Lopez stays alive. It was 3-0, now the count's gone full. Pitch from Markle is hit in the air into center field. Patterson makes his move to the right and puts it away to end the inning. It's a 1-2-3, bottom half of the second, worked by Weston Markle. We've played 2 of 9, 8-0, Indiana Tech in front.
Leading off the Indiana Tech third inning. The second baseman, number 6, Mike.
It's the top of the third, 8-0, Indiana Tech on top. Clay Lewis leads things off for the Warriors and takes ball 1. Bottom of the order for the Warriors, Lewis, Osika, and Bates to face Matt Lopez. Lewis flips it foul to the left side. Out of play for a strike, 1-1. Clay Lewis came up with a hard hit single up the middle in the first inning. He ended up turning that into a run. as his pinch runner scored later in the frame. Ball outside, 2-1. Matt Lopez has settled in very well after a disastrous start. Strike called, 2-2. He's retired 4 of the last 5 batters. The only man to reach during that stretch was Tyler Stahl, who reached on an error and then was just 3 pitches later erased on a double play. Ball low, full count. Clay Lewis works a full count for the second consecutive at bat. For all the offense so far for Indiana Tech, they've only drawn 1 walk so far. Ground ball to the shortstop. Backhanded stop Milkar's. Throw to first is dug out of the dirt by Quinn McGuire. Nice play on both ends. A long throw from Milkar's. Couldn't get it all the way there, but McGuire backs him up with a nice pick. 1 up, 1 down in the 3rd inning. Here's Tristan Osika.
First baseman number 20, Tristan Osika.
Osika singled and scored in the 1st inning. He bats for the 2nd time against Lopez. Ball 1 outside. Regardless of what happens the rest of the way, even for Lopez to have done this, retiring the last 6 hitters, has been a nice little story for him as Osika smacks it into center field, so that run comes to a close. The first hit since the 1st inning for Indiana Tech, a single for Osika, the 7th hit of the game. But regardless of what you get the rest of the way from Lopez, it looked for a while like he wasn't going to make it out of the 1st inning. So even getting here is a little moral victory for him. And the deeper he goes, the bigger that victory becomes. Parker Bates steps into the box. Batting for the 2nd time in this game, he walked and scored in the 1st. Bates takes ball 1. Bates was the number 9 hitter and 2nd baseman in game 1 of the doubleheader. He's the number 9 hitter and shortstop here in game 2. Popped up foul to the right side on the infield. McGuire over on it. Higgins as well. Both men run out of room as it lands in foul territory. 1-1. The ball dropped in the stands down the first base line, a few rows deep. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on in the 3rd inning for Indiana Tech. Trying to bounce back. They had been red hot prior to a game 1 loss earlier today. Bates hits it in the air to straightaway center field. Ketchum started back, takes a few steps in, makes the catch, retires Bates, and gives us our 2nd out of the inning. Back to the top of the order. First time through the batting order, 8 out of 9 batters reached for Indiana Tech. They went 5 for 6 with a walk and a hit by pitch, and they scored 8 runs. 2nd time through the batting order, just 2 of 9 with a couple of singles and no runs. Now we start the 3rd rotation, and McGinn takes ball 1 outside. Patrick McGinn went 2 for 2 in the 1st inning with a run and 2 RBIs, also stole a base. It's a productive game. He did it all in 1 inning. Ball 2. But now he bats for the first time since that 1st inning, since Lopez has settled down. Lopez tries to retire him for the first time today. McGinn off the inside handle of the bat, pushes it foul to the left side. It's 2-1. With Osika at first base, McGinn tries to keep the inning alive. If he can, Patterson will bat next. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lopez's next pitch is hit on 1 hop to the 2nd base, and Martinez flips it over to 2nd for the force and ends the inning. Another scoreless frame worked by Lopez. We're through 2.5, and Indiana Tech leads 8-0. Liam Higgins leads off the bottom of the third. His team trails by 8 runs against Weston Markle and company. Markle's first pitch is a hard fastball, swung on and missed for strike one. Higgins, the backup catcher for St. Francis, doesn't get a lot of chances to start, with Jake Lasota having such a fabulous season behind the plate. Ball outside, 1-1. But Higgins is starting his 8th game this year. He's 5 of 27 at the plate. That's a 185 batting average. He's got 2 runs batted in. And he's got a 2-1 count as he takes a ball up high. Higgins, Matlock, and Martinez are the scheduled hitters this frame. The 2-1 pitch is swung on and lifted on the infield to the left side. Third baseman Mojica makes the grab. 1 up, 1 down in the third. And so Dallas Matlock will get his first at bat.
Right fielder, number 25.
Matlock is making his first start of the season. He has 9 at bats, all off the bench, 2 of 9 with 2 RBIs and 1 run scored offensively. So not really enough offensive numbers to make much of them so far. Matlock will get a few at bats for sure today as he takes ball 1 low. Dallas Matlock is a junior who came to St. Francis from the Indianapolis area. Fouled away to the right side. 1-1. 1 out, nobody on. Only one man has reached so far in this game for the Fighting Saints. That was Luke Ketchum, who drew a 1-out walk back in the bottom of the first inning. The 1-1 pitch is a check swing tapper to the right side of the infield, picked up by Markle. The pitcher tosses to first and gets the out. Tough break for Matlock. He was trying to hold up that swing and take the pitch, but he went just a little bit too far, made contact, and it became a pretty easy play for Markle. 2 up, 2 down, 7 straight retired by the Indiana Tech pitcher, and he'll try to make it 8 in a row and his second straight perfect inning, facing Alex Martinez. Martinez is 0 for 1 with a flyout. Starting at second base today for the Fighting Saints. Ball 1 outside. Martinez has been just okay swinging the bat this year, a 272 average with 1 homer, but he has worked some really good at bats. He leads the team with 24 walks. So he takes the ball high, 2-0. And that's in limited action. He's only started 30 of 48 games, and he still leads the team in walks. So he came into today with an on-base percentage well over 400. Strike called, 2-1. He's provided a lot of value at the plate this year. Starting third baseman primarily earlier in the year, but Jonathan Wolf has taken on that role of late. Martinez hits it high in the air, shallow center field. Racing in, Trevor Patterson gets where he needs to and makes the catch. It is another 1-2-3 inning worked by Weston Markle. He's been very strong through 3, and so has his offense. Indiana Tech leads St. Francis 8-0 heading to the 4th. After 3, it's 8-0 Indiana Tech. That's the bad news for St. Francis. The good news is it was 8-0 after 1 as well. So things have settled in. They haven't gotten any worse lately. Matt Lopez will try to keep it that way here in the 4th inning, facing Patterson to lead things off, and Trevor Patterson takes strike 1. Patterson is 1 for 2 with a bunt single. He also flew out. Both of those at-bats were in the 1st inning. The 0-1 pitch, golfed out to right field. That sends Matlock back a few steps. Matlock makes the grab. 1 away. Since that 1st inning, Indiana Tech has just 1 hit and 2 total base runners through the last 2 1/3. Lopez has looked very good lately, and he'll try to keep that going against the cleanup batter, or rather the number 3 batter, Jacob Daftari. Daftari's 0 for 2. He takes strike 1. Everyone for Indiana Tech has reached base at least once today. In Daftari's case, it was on an error. He swings at this one and flies it into center field. Ketchum sizes it up and makes the grab. 2 down. Two quick outs start the top of this 4th inning. That'll bring up Mike Snyder.
Second baseman, number 6, Mike Snyder.
There's still a handful of Warriors who don't have hits yet. Snyder is one of them. He's 0 for 1 and was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning. He takes ball 1. Actually, weird as it is, I said everybody has gotten on base at least once, which is true. But between the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, there's not a single hit. 2-0 on Snyder. One of them has been hit by a pitch, and the other 2 have only reached on errors. Strike called, 2-1. Tyler Stahl is on deck. He's one of those guys who reached on an error. But he'll only bat if Snyder can reach base. Snyder tried to reach base with a big swing right there, but pulled it well foul, 2-2, way out in front of that one. So Lopez, who does not have a strikeout yet today, is now just 1 strike away from ending the inning. 2 outs, nobody on, 2-2 on Mike Snyder. Fouled away to the right side, still 2-2. Snyder is a 5th-year senior, using his extra year of eligibility this season. Putting up some big numbers coming into today. Tapper foul, still 2-2. 324 average. He has started just over half the team's games. But he ranks 6th on the team with 25 RBIs, despite, again, only having played about half of them. Fouled away. 3 straight 2-strike foul balls from Snyder. And so Lopez will give him an 8th pitch. At very least, Snyder has prevented Lopez from a really quick inning. Another 2-2. Another foul ball off to the right side. This one may stay in play. McGuire over to the bullpen, and it is out of his reach. Just a couple of feet out of play onto the berm down the right field line. We'll see a 5th 2-2 pitch. Lopez got the first 2 outs this inning on just 4 tosses, so even if he gets Snyder, he'll be ecstatic about another 1-2-3 inning. Technically his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. But the fact that Snyder has made him work has given his pitcher a little bit of extra time to rest, not forcing him right back onto the field after 5 or 6 pitches. So the 9th pitch of this at-bat is grounded to the 3rd baseman. Knocked down by Kernbauer. He sticks with it, throws it in the dirt, and throws it away. So Snyder is aboard with 2 outs. There will not be a 1-2-3 inning after all. We'll see what the ruling is there. I'm thinking the 5th error of the game on St. Francis, and that is the call, an error on Kernbauer. The error really wasn't on the throw, because even a good throw would have had, or would not have beaten Snyder. Snyder had it beaten out. and he didn't take an extra base when the ball got away. Bounced back onto the field quickly enough. Tyler Stahl takes strike one. The problem was Kernbauer's initial problem with pulling it in. Bounced off his chest, and that is what cost him more than the throw. Chopper foul to the right side. The count is 0-2 on Tyler Stahl. Stahl is 0 for 1. He reached on an error his last time up. Back in the first inning, he drove in a run on a sacrifice fly. The 0-2 is fouled straight back. Still 0-2. 8 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Indiana Tech. No runs, no hits, 5 errors for St. Francis. Ball 1. Lopez thought he had the strikeout. Higgins thought he had it too. Higgins took a few steps towards the dugout. Lopez was all the way at the foul line on the first base side, but the call was ball 1. It's 1-2. And now Stahl drives one out to deep right field, and over the head of Matlock, it bounces against the wall. Snyder heads to third base. Stahl is held to a single, and they're at the corners with 2 outs. So a big hit from Stahl after what St. Francis thought should have been an inning-ending strike 3. The inning continued, and for Stahl it means at least a hit. And now the Saints just have to hope it doesn't mean any more runs. Christian Mojica will hit with 2 outs and 2 on. Lopez got 2 very quick outs this inning. He retired Patterson and Daftari on a combined 4 pitches. Snyder hit a ground ball to third base on the 10th pitch of his at-bat, or the 9th pitch rather. Mojica lines a single to left field to score Snyder. Stahl up to second base. It's 9-0. Christian Mojica has his second hit and 3rd RBI of the game. That run is unearned thanks to the Kernbauer error, but there were so many times it seemed like this inning was ready to end, and it just never did. And so it goes on. 3 straight 2-out base runners. Here's Clay Lewis. Lewis is 1 for 2. He swings at the first pitch and flies it into shallow left. Long run in for Tumulty, but he gets there and puts it away to end the inning. A run scores, though, on 2 hits and 1 error. 2 men are left on as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Indiana Tech leads St. Francis 9-0. St. Francis trails now 9-0 as they come to bat for the 4th time. Looking for their first hit. It'll be Ketchum, Tumulty, and Kernbauer facing Weston Markle. Markle's offense backed him up with 8 runs before he even took the mound. They added to the lead with a 2-out tally in the top of the 4th. Luke Ketchum, the only man to reach base today for the Saints, takes ball 1. Ketchum worked hard and ended up drawing a walk in the first inning as he takes high, 2-0. He was stranded at first base, and nobody else has reached. So 8 straight have been retired by Markle, 9 out of 10 in the game. Fouled back, it's 2-1. Here's the set, the next pitch. Check swing and a ball high, 3-1. Ketchum, Tumulty, Kernbauer due to hit against Markle. Big swing and a miss. The count goes full. Quinn McGuire is waiting in the wings in case anybody reaches base. Saints need to start getting some base runners soon. This one a little bit less dire than game 1 just because there are more innings. They've got 9 innings to come back rather than 7. Ketchum is hit by the pitch on 3-2. He takes his base. And he's on for the second time today. So nobody else has reached for the Saints. But Ketchum's been aboard twice now, a walk and a hit by pitch. That's the 12th time this year that Ketchum has been hit by a pitch. As a team, St. Francis has been hit 78 times in 48 games. They get plunked a lot. Here's Scott Tumulty. Swinging at the first pitch, he bounces it foul to the right side, strike 1. Tumulty flew to right field his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Other than Ketchum, everybody in the lineup is 0 for 1. And Alex Martinez, he's 0 for 2. Just those two guys. Weston Markle's been very impressive so far. Inexperienced this season, but he's trying to buy himself a little bit more time on the mound late in the years. Tumulty takes low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fourth inning is when the Saints made their move in game 1. They were trailing 6-1, and they scored 3 runs, ultimately coming from behind to win 9-8. Fouled away, 1-2. So the 9-run deficit here is bigger than the 5-run deficit, but as I mentioned before, they have 9 innings to try to come back this time. Game 1 was just 7. Ended up going 6.5 because the Saints had the lead. Foul back, Tumulty stays alive. I talked about it during this exact point in game 1 when it was the 4th inning. It was a 5-run game. They didn't need to get them all back yet at that point. They still had time to chip away. That's exactly what they did. And they ended up with the big inning in the 5th to get the win. But with 6 innings of offense still in front of them, Saints don't need to go crazy on offense right now. Ball inside, 2-2. A run or 2 would go a long way towards restoring their confidence going into the second half of the game. 2-2 pitch. Up high, ball 3. Good fight from St. Francis hitters so far this inning. Luke Ketchum was hit by the 6th pitch of his at-bat. Scott Tumulty is about to see the 7th pitch of his. Payoff offering. Hit into the air, shallow right field. That ball is caught. Patrick McGinn puts it away for out number 1. A high pop fly from Scott Tumulty there. It was a major league pop-up. Luke Ketchum forced to stay at first base. That will bring up Josh Kernbauer. Kernbauer is 0 for 1 with a flyout. Hard grounder, left side, diving play, Mojica from his knees. He throws to second and gets the force. The relay throw is not in time, but what a play by Mojica. Kernbauer appeared to have had the first hit of the game for St. Francis, but Mojica robs him, throws Ketchum out on the force, 5-4. And for that effort from Mojica, just to even get 1 out is impressive. They nearly turned 2. Kernbauer was hustling all the way down the line. So he's aboard with 2 down. And the batter is Quinn McGuire.
First baseman, Quinn McGuire.
McGuire's 0 for 1 with a strikeout as he takes strike 1 here. The only strikeout of the game so far for either team. It's rare you make it all the way to the bottom of the 4th inning and there's been only 1 strikeout. Line drive into center field. That drops for a base hit. So Quinn McGuire's got his 2nd hit of the year and the 1st hit of the game for St. Francis. 2 on with 2 outs and a chance to make a little run here. Saints trying to make some noise in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Shortstop, number 18, Alex Milcars.
Here's Alex Milcars, who tried to bunt his way on base in the 2nd inning and was retired 5-3 on a nice play by Mojica. Christian Mojica has really flashed the leather here in this 2nd game. The last couple of innings, he's made 2 really nice plays. The bunt on Milcars and then that diving play just moments ago robbing Josh Kernbauer of a hit. Count is 0-1. Markle sets for the next pitch, and Milcars takes a ball outside. Kernbauer at second after reaching on a fielder's choice. McGuire at first. He has the 1st hit of the game for St. Francis. One ball and 1 strike. 2 outs, 2 on. A 9-run deficit for the Saints. Milcars takes high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Alex Milcars came into today's game hitting an even .300 this season, 3 for 10, with a double and 2 RBIs. He's had some big hits over the last couple of weeks in conference games. 2-1. Evens the count at 2. So the Saints are down to their final strike this inning. Milcars trying to put the bat on the ball and get this run in from second base. Markle just gave up his 1st hit. Now they're trying to get him for their 1st run. Ball in the dirt. Good block by Lewis. Full count. If Milcars reaches base, Matt Lopez, the pitcher, will bat next. If not, Matt Lopez, the pitcher, will go to the pitcher's mound. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Weston Markle is set. He glances at the runner at second base. Now to the plate. Ball 4 up high. Good at bat by Milcars. He loads the bases on the walk. For all intents and purposes, that is the 2nd walk of the inning. Markle technically hit the leadoff batter rather than walking him, but it would have been ball 4.
Pitcher, Matt Lopez.
So the bases are full. 2 outs. And a crucial moment in the game right here as Matt Lopez steps in. Lopez fouls back the first pitch for strike 1. If the Saints can turn this bases loaded situation into a crooked number, 9-3 or 9-4 after 4 innings looks a lot more manageable than 9-0. Lopez flew out to center field his first time up. The 1 pitch to him here is flown into right field, shallow down the line. Going back on it is the first baseman, Tristan Osika, and Osika makes the grab to retire the side. Nice play by Osika. Not an easy grab at the angle he was going after it from. But the Saints do not score. They leave the bases full, and as we head to the 5th, our score remains 9-0 Indiana Tech. Tristan Osika leads off the top of the fifth for Indiana Tech after having made a pretty nice catch to end the bottom of the fourth. He swings to the first pitch, lines it hard to right field, and right at the Saints' right fielder, Dallas Matlock, who puts it away for the first out of the inning. Good welcome to the ball game for Jacob Blim, the relief pitcher for the Fighting Saints, who comes on for Matt Lopez. Lopez went 4 innings, allowed 9 runs, 8 of them earned because the one in the fourth was unearned, but several of them in the first were unearned as well. I have to go through and see exactly which was which. 5 errors committed by the Saints today. So 9 runs charged to Lopez today. Several of them are unearned. I'll have to figure out exactly which is which before we get out of here today. As Parker Bates takes ball 1. Bates is 0 for 1 with a flyout and a walk. He swings and misses. The count is 1-1. Jacob Blim is a freshman out of Montini Catholic High School. Blim is appearing for the 6th time this year. Coming in, he was 0-1 with an 11.25 ERA. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. In 4 innings, Blim had allowed 5 runs on 6 hits, 4 walks. He struck out 2. Looking for his 3rd strikeout of the season right here. His 1-2 pitch is taken over the outside corner for a called 3rd strike. 2 down. First strikeout of the game for St. Francis pitching. It's just the 2nd strikeout overall in this game. And now a chance at a 1-2-3 inning as he faces the leadoff batter, Patrick McGinn. McGinn is 2 for 3 with a pair of singles and a pair of RBIs. First pitch strike on McGinn. This would be the first 1-2-3 inning of the game if Blim can get it. Lopez came very close a couple of times. Strike over the inside corner, 0-2. In the 2nd inning, he threw only 6 pitches and got a double play, so he faced the minimum. In the 4th inning, he retired the first 2 batters. Then it looked like it was going to be a perfect frame before a throwing error on third baseman, or rather a fielding error on third baseman, Josh Kernbauer, kept the inning alive. And Indiana Tech ended up scoring a run out of that. 1-2 the count on McGinn. Trying to keep this inning alive with Trevor Patterson on deck. McGinn takes another one in a similar spot, and that evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I mentioned it before, the fact that Lopez made it through 4 innings was pretty impressive considering the way this game started. Ball outside, 3-2. This could very easily have been a 1/3 of an inning or 2/3 of an inning appearance for Lopez. He ended up going 4, and aside from the first, he looked great. Payoff pitch from Blim. Strike 3 called, back-to-back, backwards Ks. McGinn goes down looking. And we've played half of a baseball game here. After a 1-2-3 top half of the 5th, our score is Indiana Tech 9, St. Francis nothing. Nine to nothing in the bottom of the 5th inning, game 2 of a doubleheader on a chilly Tuesday afternoon in Joliet. It'll be colder tomorrow when St. Francis has a conference doubleheader. Liam Higgins takes strike 1. Higgins, Matlock, and Martinez here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Liam Higgins is 0 for 1 with a pop-out. Facing Weston Markle for the second time. Markle's allowed just 1 hit through 4. Strike called, 0-2. A busy week for St. Francis. 7 games in 5 days. Doubleheader today, doubleheader tomorrow. Thursday's an off day. And then Friday begins a 3-game series at home against St. Ambrose. Fouled away, still 0-2. All of that's here at home. 7 games in 5 days, all at Dooley Health and Care Field. 5 of them are conference games, the final 5 conference games of the regular season. Final games of the regular season. And then next week the conference tournament begins. It opens next Thursday. Breaking ball over for a called third strike. And Markle has his second strike out of the game. Higgins goes down looking. We did not see a strikeout looking all day. And we had only seen 1 strikeout in total through the first 4 innings. And now all of a sudden, between these 2 pitchers, we have combined to see 3 consecutive called third strikes. Matlock hits a high hopper back to the mound. Gloved by Markle on the 1 bounce. Markle throws to first, and Matlock is retired. For the second time today, Matlock set down 1-3. And with 2 outs and the bases empty, we roll back around to the top of the order. Alex Martinez will hit. You take away the 4th inning, it has not only been an effective day for Weston Markle, it's been a very efficient day. Trying to go deep into this ball game. He's 1 out away from qualifying for a victory. He's gotten Martinez twice today already on flyouts to center field. This time he gets Martinez to offer at the first pitch. Tried to hold himself up, but he is said to have gone around by the first base umpire. 0-1. There's a called strike, 0-2. Well, Matlock finally ended the run of strikeouts with a first pitch bounce out to the pitcher. Markle trying to get back on the strikeout train here, though. 0-2 on Martinez. Markle, the right-hander who always pitches from the stretch, misses the outside corner on a fastball. 1-2. Next pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. 3rd strikeout of the game for Weston Markle. He has his 3rd perfect inning of the game as well. His team still up big as we head to the 6th. 9-0 Indiana Tech. Top 6, Indiana Tech has a 9-run lead. They'll try to add to it with their 2, 3, and 4 batters due up against Jacob Blim. Trevor Patterson leads things off and takes ball 1 outside. It's a lopsided score right now, but it really hasn't played like that except for the first half inning. The Warriors scored 8 runs in the top of the first, and since then these two teams have been just about dead even. A pitcher's duel. And if you could start this game over in the top of the second, St. Francis would be very happy with where they stand right now, but for some odd reason, the rules don't allow that. Ball inside, 3-0. Blim is on for his second inning of work. He struck out 2 of the 3 batters he faced in the 5th inning, went 1-2-3. First perfect inning of the game for a St. Francis pitcher. Blim looked very good. Strike called, 3-1 on Trevor Patterson. Patterson is 1 for 3 with a bunt single and a run. Since then, he's played pepper with the right fielder Dallas Matlock. He's flown out to him twice. Ball outside. And it's a leadoff walk. First walk issued by a St. Francis pitcher since the 1st inning. It's the second one total in the game. Game 1 was a problem in that department. They ended up walking or hitting 9 batters in that game. There have been 3 walks / hit by pitches here in game 2. Blim's off to a bit of a wild start here in his second inning of work. He's missed the strike zone on 5 of his first 6 pitches. 1-0 on Jacob Daftari. He bounces it foul to third base, 1-1. Daftari is 0 for 3. He's flown out to center twice and he's reached on an error. Strike called over the outside corner, 1-2. Next pitch coming in is grounded to third base. Scooped up cleanly by Kernbauer, and his throw is wild. Patterson heads to third base. Daftari reaches first safely on the error. Second time today that Daftari has reached on an error, and they're at the corners with nobody out. That one had the potential of being a double play. I don't think it would have been. Most likely, had that throw been a good one from Kernbauer, it would have been a runner at first with 1 out. So it's a fielder's choice and an error on the play. 6th error of the game on St. Francis. And Mike Snyder's got a chance to add more to this Indiana Tech lead. He swings at the first pitch, grounds it to short. Milkar's over to second for 1. The relay throw is in time. There's your double play. Patterson does cross the plate and score and make it 10-0 Indiana Tech, but when you're already down by 9, you want to get those outs. You want to get the pitcher feeling good about the way he's throwing. And I think the double play is probably the biggest thing right there for St. Francis. So they get the 2 outs. The bases are clear now, and Tyler Stahl will hit following the 6-4-3 double play. So the run against Blim is unearned, at least for the moment. Ball 1 low on Tyler Stahl. Well, actually, I guess it'll be unearned regardless because that would have been 3 outs. Stahl takes a strike. That evens the count at 1. Tyler Stahl has a sacrifice fly, a single. He's reached on an error, and he's hit a grounder to second. Martinez over to first. The inning is over. After a leadoff walk, Blim recovers nicely. A run does score because of an error. But as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, the Saints have kept it close since the 1st. They trail big, though, overall. It's 10-0. Bottom of the 6th inning, Saints trail by 10. They'll send Ketchum, Tumulty, and Kernbauer to the plate against Weston Markle, who has been outstanding so far. Markle has not yet retired Ketchum, though. He misses high and over his head for ball 1. Ketchum has walked and been hit by a pitch. St. Francis as a team has just one hit today, a single for Quinn McGuire in the 4th inning. Up and in, nearly got Ketchum around the head again. The count goes to 2-0. Well, overall, Jacob Blim did a pretty nice job last inning pitching around a leadoff walk. A run did score as a result of an error, but just the one run. However, that one run has the potential to be pretty costly. The 2-0 is lined hard out in left field. A base hit for Luke Ketchum. Second hit of the game for the Fighting Saints. Ketchum is aboard for the 3rd time. He has had a good doubleheader. He's reached base in all 6 of his plate appearances. 2 hits, 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and an error. So it's been a great day for Ketchum. Scott Tumulty takes a strike. And it's big for the Saints. They got that leadoff man on base because that run scored by Indiana Tech in the top of the 6th has put kind of a sped up clock on them. The 0-1 pitch comes in. Hard grounder right side and out to right field. A base hit for Tumulty. Ketchum pulls up at second base. Back-to-back singles for the Fighting Saints. They've tripled their hits total in just the last couple of pitches. 2 on, nobody out for Josh Kernbauer. This is exactly what the Saints needed coming out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. With that 10-run deficit, they might not get a chance to play the full 9 as they try to make a comeback, but they cut it back into single digits. It'll give them more time. Ball 1 high on Josh Kernbauer. Kernbauer is 0 for 2 today. Flew out to right field his first time up. In his last at-bat, he had a hard ground ball to third. Looked like a base hit off the bat, but Christian Mojica made a really nice diving play to rob him. Turn it into a fielder's choice. Ball inside, it's 2-0. There's a lefty throwing in the bullpen right now for Indiana Tech, as for the first time today, Weston Markle is showing signs of fragility. His 2-0 pitch to Kernbauer hits the outside corner. It's 2-1. Chris Massey, the senior southpaw, is the man warming up in the pen. Nobody throwing for St. Francis. So Blim, who's thrown 2 solid innings so far, appears to be getting ready to throw a third. Markle turns back to second base to make sure there's no funny business going on with Ketchum, but nobody's covering the bag, so no chance to make a pickoff throw. 2-1 the count on Josh Kernbauer with 2 on base and nobody out. 10-run game in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ground ball again through the hole on the right side. 3 straight hits for the Saints. Ketchum stops at third. Hard turn around second base by Scott Tumulty. He has to dive back to the bag. And they are loaded with nobody out. Saints trying to make some noise here in the 6th inning and prove that they're not quite out of it yet. Not only have all 3 men come up with hits, they've all been hard hits. Nothing fluky about any of them. Here's Quinn McGuire. So just 1 hit through 5 innings. They've got 3 hits with nobody out here in the 6th. Quinn McGuire is 1 for 2. He's the only man with a safety prior to this frame. He singled in the 4th, struck out in the 2nd inning. He takes ball 1 high. McGuire, a 200 hitter with his 1 for 2 performance today. He's now 2 for 10 on the season. Here's Markle's 1-0. Long pause. He won't make the toss. He steps off the rubber and resets. Ketchum's at third. Tumulty's at second. Kernbauer is at first base. And McGuire is in the driver's seat. 2 balls and no strikes in this at-bat. Saints have not struck the scoreboard yet in this game. They can do so here. And perhaps not even settle for one. Another base hit out to left field for Quinn McGuire. Ketchum scores. Tumulty around third base. He scores. It's a 2-run base hit for Quinn McGuire. And it's now a 10-2 game. 4 consecutive hits for St. Francis begin this bottom of the 6th inning. They've all been singles. Everybody is moving up 90 feet at a time. Tumulty scored all the way from second base there. First man to advance more than one base on any hit. Here's Alex Milcars, and that might be all she wrote for Weston Markle, who was outstanding through 5. Couldn't get an out here in the 6th. 2 RBIs on that last play for Quinn McGuire. He's got 4 now on the season. He came into play today with 1 hit for the year, and he leaves with 3 hits at least. He may get another at bat here too. Call has been made to the bullpen, so Weston Markle's day is done with 2 on and nobody out in the bottom of the 6th inning. St. Francis trails by 8, trying to mount a late comeback here. We'll get you the rest of the inning in just a few moments. 10-2 our score. Nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. Big at bat coming up for Alex Milcars. The Saints have scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning to turn a 10-2 deficit, or 10-0 deficit into a 10-2. And now with 2 on and nobody out, Milcars bats against a new pitcher, left-hander Chris Massey. Massey is a senior from Indianapolis, on for the 14th time this year. He does have 1 start, but primarily has been a reliever. 1-2 with a 9.72 ERA. In 16 2/3 innings, Massey has allowed 20 runs, 18 of them earned on 19 hits with 31 strikeouts and 12 walks. He gets ahead of Milcars with a first pitch strike. Alex Milcars is 0 for 1 today. He bunted into a 5-3 ground out in the 2nd inning and walked his last time up. Big moment for him with Quinn McGuire at first, Josh Kernbauer at second. Pitch from Massey. Outside for a ball, 1-1. Massey's a hard thrower. He's got a good swing and miss potential. 31 strikeouts in 16 2/3 innings is an incredible number. But he's also allowed 19 hits and 12 walks, so he gives up quite a few base runners. And obviously a lot of runs with a high ERA. Milkars hits a grounder to second base, picked up cleanly. The throw to second is in time. Bates' relay throw is not. So it's a fielder's choice 4-6. And the first out of the inning. Kernbauer advances to third. Quinn McGuire is retired. And Milkars is safe at first on the fielder's choice. Snyder to Bates on the putout. One away. Here's Matt Lopez. Lopez has become the DH now that he's done pitching. He was the starting pitcher, but as the Saints have gone to the bullpen, he has remained in as the designated hitter. Lopez is 0 for 2 in this game. He takes ball one low and away. Big first out, but they've still got 2 more to go, and they're still in a little bit of trouble with the Saints possessing 2 men on base. Lopez takes high, 2-0. Game looked over really since the top of the first inning. Still a blowout right now at 10-2, but you get a couple more runs this inning, and you're feeling like you got a chance if you're a St. Francis booster. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Say they get 2 more. If you can make it 10-4 with 9 outs still to play with, the way that the Saints have pitched since that first inning, you don't like your chances, but you feel like they exist. Swing and a miss, strike 2. The count is even. A strikeout would be big here with a runner at third base. Gave you the strikeout numbers of Chris Massey a few moments ago. He fans a lot. 2-2 pitch, fouled off. Lopez gets a piece of it. His predecessor, Weston Markle, struck out 3 in 5+ innings today. Markle allowed 5 hits. To this point, 2 runs. The men on base are his responsibility as well. Such a good start for Markle, but the 6th inning left, I'm sure, a sour taste in his mouth, the way that he went out, giving up 4 straight hits. Lopez takes a ball outside. The count goes full. A walk would reload the bases. Liam Higgins is the on-deck hitter. Here comes the payoff pitch from Massey. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Lopez goes down swinging, and that is a big strikeout for Chris Massey. He fell behind Lopez, got him to 2 strikes. Lopez fouled off a pitch, worked it full, and on the 8th pitch, he finally sends him down swinging. A much-needed strikeout for Massey, and now it's up to Liam Higgins to give the Saints a chance here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Higgins is 0 for 2 with a pop-out and a strikeout, and he takes the first pitch strike here. Two runs are in on the Quinn McGuire RBI single. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. The inning began with 4 straight hits. Ketchum, Tumulty, Kernbauer, and McGuire each singled. That's when Markle left the game. The new man, Chris Massey's been sharp. He got Milkars to ground into a fielder's choice. He struck out Lopez. Now he's 0-2 on Liam Higgins and misses low and inside. One ball and 2 strikes. Next pitch, lefty to righty. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the inning is over. With his back against the wall, Massey comes up with 2 strikeouts in a row, and he keeps the Saints off the board any further. St. Francis gets 2 runs on 4 hits. They leave him at the corners. We go to the 7th, 10-2, Indiana Tech. Top 7, 10-2 our score. Indiana Tech has the lead. Mojica, Lewis, and Osika are due up, but Christian Mojica will not bat for himself as the first pitch is over for a strike on the pinch hitter, Michael Olliger. Jacob Blim remains in the game for the Fighting Saints. Blim on for his third inning. He's allowed one unearned run over his first two. That's a swing for Olliger. The count goes to 0-2. Michael Olliger is a junior. Scratch that. He's a sophomore from Brownsburg. Olliger strikes out swinging, a 3-pitch strikeout. And a nice start to the inning for Blim. Blim picks up his third strikeout and 2 in the third innings. And that'll bring up Clay Lewis, the catcher. Lewis is 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. He bats for the first time against Blim. First pitch misses for ball 1. Ball 2 on Clay Lewis, the catcher, the backup catcher typically for this Indiana Tech team. We saw Luis Diaz in game 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Looks like another pinch hitter in the on-deck circle. As Lewis takes a strike, the count is 2-2. I think that's A.J. Gray who's going to bat next. 10 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Indiana Tech today. 2, 5, and 6 for St. Francis. Ball high, 3-2. The Warriors don't have a hit since the 4th inning. But they do have a base runner here on a walk. A 1-out free pass issued to Clay Lewis. That's the second walk issued by Blim so far today. Lewis will depart. And Aaron Busick once again comes in as a pinch runner. Busick scored as a pinch runner for Lewis back in the first inning. Here's A.J. Gray getting the at-bat. Gray is just 2 of 14 so far at the plate this season. But he does have 7 RBIs. And he's hit by a pitch here. First pitch from Blim plunks him. And he heads down to first base, advancing Lewis to second. That's not an uncommon occurrence for A.J. Gray. It's kind of his job. He stands in there, pinch hits, and then gets hit by pitches. Gray has only had 14 at-bats this year, but that's the 3rd time he's been hit by a pitch. He's also walked 5 times. That's why he has so many RBIs. Apparently he's come up in bases loaded spots. 7 RBIs on just 2 hits is kind of amazing. But he's found his way on base 8 other times as well. So 2 on, 1 out. And the batter is Parker Bates, the shortstop. Bates takes ball 1 outside. Parker Bates is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run. He struck out against Blim the first time they met up back in the 5th inning. Blim trying to keep this deficit at 8 runs. Bates flies it into center field. Ketchum chases it back. He stops at the spot and makes the catch. Busick heads to third base on the tag. Gray stays at first, so they're at the corners with 2 down. And we're back to the top of the order and Patrick McGinn. McGinn is 2 for 4, but he hasn't had a hit since the first inning. His last 2 times up, he has grounded out and struck out. McGinn, a 278 hitter coming into play today. He takes ball 1 high. Indiana Tech scored 8 runs in the top of the first inning. It's never really been close ever since. Ball low, 2-0. Saints have played the Warriors even since that first, but it's hard to tell how this game would have gone if it weren't for the top of the first inning. It really set the tone the whole way. Indiana Tech's kind of been on cruise control ever since. 2-0 misses high. It's 3 balls and no strikes. We've already seen a walk and a hit by pitch this inning. Bloom does not want to load the bases here without even forcing him to swing the bat. Trevor Patterson is the next man up. And he will bat with the bases loaded as McGinn takes ball 4. So the bags are full here. 2 walks and a hit by pitch. And now Trevor Patterson has a chance to put this game away once and for all. Patterson is 1 for 3 with a single on a bunt, a walk, and 2 runs scored. This is a 300-plus hitter over the course of the season. And he started about 2/3 of the team's games. Big opportunity here, and before he gets it, we'll have a meeting on the mound. St. Francis won game 1 tonight, 9-8. They overcame a 5-run deficit, ended up taking a 3-run lead, and then withstood a late charge from Indiana Tech after they scored 2 runs in the last inning to make it a 1-run contest. This game has gone much differently than the first. Not a huge surprise, I guess. Very different lineups. Between the two teams combined, only 3 starters were held over from games 1 to 2. And only 2 starters were held in the same positions, 1 for each side. Luke Ketchum in center for the Saints, and Christian Mojica at third base for the Warriors. Patterson is ready to hit. I guess he's been ready. It was the pitching side that wasn't ready for him, but Blim is set now. Freshman right-hander deals his first pitch to Patterson and misses up high for ball 1. It's been a wild inning for Blim. There's a swing and a deep drive out to left field, but playable. Backing up and making the grab is the left fielder Scott Tumulty to put an end to this inning. Bases load on 2 walks and a hit by pitch. The one hard hit ball of the inning, though, turns into an out as Patterson flies to left to end the top of the 7th. Stretch time here in Joliet. Our score is Indiana Tech 10, St. Francis 2. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. St. Francis trails Indiana Tech 10-2. Saints are coming off of far and away their best offensive inning of the game. They'll try to carry that over into the 7th as Dallas Matlock leads things off against Chris Massey. Massey, the left-hander, was very good when he came in the 6th. He fires a strike to Matlock. Dallas Matlock 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts back to the pitcher. First time facing Massey. Left-hander's 0-1 in there for strike 2. St. Francis got 4 consecutive hits to begin the bottom of the 6th inning. They chased Weston Markle from the game. Chris Massey came in and he did his job. Got Alex Milcars to ground into a fielder's choice and then struck out both Lopez and Higgins. So he went 1-2-3 coming in with the bases loaded. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts going back to last inning. Actually, he didn't come in with the bases loaded. He came in with 2 on base last inning. He went 1-2-3, didn't allow any further runs to score. Now he'll deal with the top of the St. Francis batting order. Alex Martinez is 0 for 3. 2 flyouts and a strikeout. First pitch strike. It's 0-1. Story of this game is the top of the first inning. 8 runs for Indiana Tech. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Since then, there's been very little action on either side. Saints had that nice little run of hits in the bottom of the 6th inning, but as nice as that was, you score 2 runs when you're down by 10. It doesn't mean a whole lot unless you can add to it. Ball outside, 1-2. And really, this IIT offense has been non-existent since the 8-run first inning. First inning, they scored 8 runs on 6 hits. Since then, 2 runs on 3 hits. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 4 consecutive strikeouts. The tag is applied on Martinez, and there are 2 outs in the 7th inning. Here's Luke Ketchum, the lone man for St. Francis who has not been retired today. That was all against Weston Markle, who had no problem against anybody else. We'll see if the reverse is true here. I guess the reverse wouldn't be true because so far the same has been true with Massey in that he's had no problem with anybody else, but he has a problem with Ketchum. Line drive single to left. Ketchum is on base for the 4th time of the game. 7th time he's reached in today's doubleheader in 7 plate appearances. So Ketchum's been on base 4 times. The rest of the team combined has reached base 5 times. Scott Tumulty is one of those times. He's 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the 6th. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Tumulty takes the first pitch below the knees for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Over for a strike. That evens the count. Ketchum's over at first. Massey looking for a scoreless inning. He's 1 strike away as he paints the inside corner. 1-2. Chris Massey struck out 4 consecutive batters. Luke Ketchum snapped that run with a line shot single. His 2nd hit of the game, the 7th time he's been on base and 7 trips to the plate in today's doubleheader. Tumulty flies it down the left field line, long run into foul territory, and it drops out of everybody's reach. Still 1-2. About 5 feet wide of the foul line. Nearly very dangerous for Indiana Tech. That ball was pretty much in no man's land. If it had been about 5 feet over to the right, maybe that makes it catchable, but more likely it drops in for a base hit. Instead, he goes back to the batter's box, still behind in the count, 1-2. He takes low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. St. Francis is down to its final 7 outs, still trying to make a game of this thing. They've got a runner at second base, but there are 2 outs and 2 strikes on the hitter. Ball outside, full count. Action in the Indiana Tech bullpen. I believe that's Philip Hobbs getting loose right now. That's what it looks like, best I can see. 3-2 on Tumulty, fouls it away. Good fight here between Massey and Tumulty. Massey retired the first 5 batters he faced, but Ketchum has been a fly in the ointment. And now Tumulty is keeping the inning alive as well. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Ketchum will be on the move. Tumulty chops it foul. So we'll see a 9th pitch in this at-bat. Josh Kernbauer waits on deck. Kernbauer's hit the ball hard his last few times up. You're Indiana Tech here. You don't want to give St. Francis even a sliver of a hope. This becomes a bigger out for Massey. Another ground ball foul. A walk doesn't really do much in the grand scheme of things for Indiana Tech. You've got an 8-run lead, so having 2 men on base isn't the worst thing, but like I said, you want to kind of squash out any potential hope. This has been a great at-bat from Tumulty. This is the 10th pitch. And we'll see an 11th. Tough matchup for Tumulty, a hard-throwing left-handed pitcher against a left-handed batter. Massey averages better than 2 strikeouts per inning for the season. So the fact that Tumulty has been able to foul off pitch after pitch here has been very impressive. And he fouls off another one. Six 2-strike foul balls in this at-bat from Scott Tumulty. This is the 12th pitch of the sequence here. Massey just has not been able to put him away. And he hits another foul ball. That's the 7th 2-strike foul. First 2 batters of the inning struck out. But the Saints have not made it an easy inning for Massey. Ketchum and Tumulty have kept it alive. Strike 3 called over the outside corner, and a tough at-bat for Scott Tumulty. And that is the ball game. Indiana Tech comes away with a 10-2 7-inning victory here. A strikeout of Scott Tumulty on the 13th pitch of the at-bat wraps it up, and these two teams have split the doubleheader. St. Francis took the opener by a final score of 9-8. Indiana Tech bounces back by winning game 2 by a 10-2 count, and a weird game here because it really was decided in the first half inning before St. Francis even had an at-bat. This game was essentially lost, and after that first half inning, I think you can make a strong argument that the Saints were the better team than the Warriors, but it doesn't really matter because the first half inning had already happened, and that's what we'll go back to in our quick scoring recap here because that's when most of the scoring took place. Indiana Tech got a leadoff single from Patrick McGinn. Following that, a bunt from Trevor Patterson turned into a throwing error on Matt Lopez. It put runners at the corners with nobody out. Deftari reached on an error. Snyder was hit by a pitch. Tyler Stahl drove in a run on a sac fly, and then the big hit of the inning, a 2-run double for Christian Mojica. Then a single for Clay Lewis, a single for Tristan Osika. Parker Bates walked. Patrick McGinn came up for the second time of the inning, and he had a 2-run base hit, bringing home 2 more runs. An error brought home the final run of the inning. That made it 8-0 at the end of 1. And then Matt Lopez settled down. He only gave up 1 more run over his final 3 innings. It was an unearned run in the 4th inning with 2 outs and nobody on. Mike Snyder reached on an error and then later came around to score on a Christian Mojica single. So that unearned run is the only other one given up by Lopez. He ended up going 4 innings. He allowed 9 runs, 7 of them earned. St. Francis couldn't get much going. They didn't have their first hit until the bottom of the 4th inning. That was also their first scoring threat. They loaded the bases with 2 outs but could not get any runs in. And then IIT put together their final run-scoring rally in the 6th inning as Trevor Patterson drew a leadoff walk, moved to third base on an error, and then scored on a double play. That made it 10-0. It looked like game over. The Saints had one last little run in them. In the 6th inning, they were able to mount a 4-hit rally. Ketchum singled, Tumulty singled, Kernbauer singled, and then Quinn McGuire with the bases loaded knocked home 2 runs with a base hit of his own. So 4 consecutive hits for the Fighting Saints led to their first 2 runs of the game. That made it 10-2. But then Chris Massey came out of the bullpen and was very impressive. Ground out, strikeout, strikeout. The threat was over. The inning was over. Massey finished it off by pitching a scoreless 7th inning. He struck out 3, including a long battle, 13-pitch sequence with Scott Tumulty. He ended up getting him looking to end the ball game. Our final total is 10 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Indiana Tech, 2-6-6 for St. Francis. And with the win, Indiana Tech earns a split, improves to 28-19 on the season. With the loss, Saints are back to 500, 24-24. So they split the day. They have split the season so far. The winning pitcher was Weston Markle. Markle, with that victory, improves his record to 2-0 on the season. Losing pitcher is Matt Lopez. He takes his first loss and falls to 2-1. That's going to do it for today, but we'll be back here in less than 24 hours on a cold Wednesday afternoon. It's going to be a doubleheader, St. Francis against Indiana South Bend, back to conference play tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Until then, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis, who split a doubleheader today, a 9-8 win, a 10-2 loss. Talk to you next time.